The Conservative Party conference gets underway tomorrow and the Prime Minister's arrived in Manchester with a crowd-pleasing policy announcement for delegates. David Cameron says a new transferable tax allowance of £1,000 for married couples on the basic rate of income tax will be introduced before the next election. The move's been praised by traditionalists in the party, but how many couples will actually benefit? Jane Deeth reports.
David Cameron says marrying Samantha was one of the happiest days of his life, and he's fulfilling an election vow to reward those who make marriage work with a small tax break, a little thank you.
Marriage is a great institution and it helps to build a good and strong society. So I think it's right to back marriage properly in the income tax system. Most other advanced industrial countries do it and we should do it too.
The tax break would go to 4 million couples, married or civil partners, gay or straight. It would be worth up to £200 a year. For example, where a wife works part-time, she could pass £1,000 of the tax allowance she isn't using to her husband, allowing him to earn more before paying income tax. Even at this wedding fair, people's thoughts turned to unmarried couples who'll miss out.
Could penalise non-married couples or people who are clearly in love, so to speak, but don't get married out of choice.
We're effectively married, we're just not officially married, so why would we not get given the same treatment as somebody who was married?
But the majority of married people won't get the help either. It's only for those on the basic rate of income tax.
Of course, marriage is a fantastic institution, but only a third of married couples are actually going to benefit from this. What the government should be doing is trying to help all families who are struggling with the rise of cost of living and all children. So if you're a widow struggling to bring up children, if your husband or wife has left you with children and you're struggling to bring them up, you deserve a little bit of extra help as well. This policy does nothing to help those families.
And of course, many families aren't built around marriage.
We just can't believe that they are focusing on such a small group of people. And those married couples, one has to be working and one has to be not paying tax, so either not working or not working very many hours. We think it's a bit of a kind of sop to the fantasy 50s, 1950s family, and we just think that a government should be helping families and not judging them.
Nick Clegg used to call a marriage tax allowance patronising drivel. But coalitions like marriage are built on give and take. And in return, the Liberal Democrats got free school meals for children under 8.
David Cameron's been very careful not to suggest that this tax break will encourage people to get married. He knows it would be silly to suggest that people will be picking out wedding rings for the sake of £3.85 a week. But it's a signal carefully timed to appeal to Tory backbenchers gathering for the party conference and to voters at the next general election.
Labour's party conference grabbed the headlines with the promise of an energy price freeze. The Conservatives are lining up their populist policies in response. Interest-free loans to help troops onto the property ladder, extra money for the Cancer Drugs Fund, and signals they could scale back on green energy as their way of easing household bills.